This review is of FDS, fresh organic asparagus, and this was certified organic by MyAssert, number 94080 by, and it's a product of Mexico. Oh, stop looking at me. I'm not the important thing here. All right. So I've never actually eaten raw asparagus, and you can eat most vegetables raw with absolutely no trouble as long as they're clean. But I'm curious. Interesting. So the flavor is not as strong as when it's cooked, which, I guess that makes sense because cooking tends to concentrate it. And the flavor is nice. It's milder, which makes it more palatable for people who don't particularly care for the taste of asparagus. Now, myself, I like asparagus. But I would say that if you're not an asparagus fan, but you want to eat asparagus for health reasons, first thing you want to do is you want to go to the butt end and you want to break off, get it to where it'll break. That's the point. This part here is very, very fibrous. And so it'll be hard to get anything out of it. I've tried, believe me. I've chewed on these things and I didn't get much of anything except for a bit of flavoring. So you might, I don't know, maybe you could use it for flavoring for a broth or something like that, but it's not worth it. They're very difficult to consume. And then the rest of it is all edible. So it's quite a nice flavor. And now that I have eaten it, I kind of feel like I don't want to cook it because it's good this way too. Good in a different, flavor way, but good. But I've already got half of my other bundle of this prepared, so I'm going to cook them up, and I will be back with you in about half an hour. As a side note, when you're buying asparagus, never buy old asparagus. Old asparagus will look different than this. Now, this is a healthy asparagus stem. In fact, I could probably eat almost all the way to the bottom. See, that's all I got off of it. And so when you see a smooth stem like this, now there may be a little bit of striation, but ultimately it's smooth. When you see that, then stop focusing on me, camera. Then you know that you've got a fresh asparagus. Now, if you happen to look at this and it looks like this up here at the top, where it's kind of, I guess you could say wrinkled, like that right there. These wrinkles that run along the stem, when you see one that's old, you'll see those wrinkles go all the way to the bottom, and it'll look kind of deflated. And it'll also be very, very bendy. You won't be able to break it that easily. In fact, you'll waste a lot. So not only should you never buy old asparagus, like if it's in a closeout section, don't buy it. Unless you've got some way to resurrect it and use it for some other purpose. I don't know what that would be, but don't buy it. It's just not going to be worth it because you're going to lose most of the asparagus, if not all of it. In addition, it's going to rot. It's going to be so much closer to rotting that it's a risk to buy it for that respect as well. Also, asparagus does not last very long in the refrigerator. I would say don't leave it in the refrigerator for more than, say, a week just to be safe, because you don't really know how old the asparagus is when you get it. And so when it starts to get old, the head will rot. And that's kind of gross. You can still eat the rest of it after you clean off the head, the gross parts from the head. In fact, you could, if you were brave enough, you could probably cook the rotting head and eat that too, as long as you cooked it well enough. But I'd recommend if the head starts to rot rinse it off really thoroughly and use your fingers to get the gross stuff off, and then you can still cook it. Now, one other thing I want to show you. Generally speaking, if you get an asparagus stem that has lots of white down here, this is very, very, very dense and fibrous. So that entire white part is going to go to waste. See, that's how far up. So almost half the stalk was lost because of that. So if you're buying asparagus, avoid bunches where you see a lot of white on the stems, because you're spending most of your money, or I don't know, I can't really tell which is heavier. They're just too light, but you're spending maybe half your money on the part you have to throw away. Wow. All I got out of that was liquid. See, it's all very fibrous. See that? So that's the part you don't want. So that's why you break it off like that. All right. So I finished cooking my asparagus, and some of it came out very, very dry. Some of it that was in a superior position did not. They have different flavors. You can even cook it so that it's crisp, and it'll have a very strong flavor that my son liked. Which is ironic, because when I first introduced my children to asparagus, my son didn't want to eat it. Now he loves it. Of course, he's not terribly fond of it, being boiled. So what I do is I take some spices and some oil and put it in it, and I break the pieces up into 1 to 2 inch long pieces. The stalks into pieces, and then I stir it all up with the spices and herbs and oil, and then I cook it in the oven. And you could probably do a stovetop frying as well, or boiling, or some other means. Up to you. But it's good. How many of these are mine? Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.